They thought their 110-pound canecorso, Luna, was dying of a mysterious parasite, but when the vet turned around with a terrifying laugh and a hidden secret, the family's world shattered instantly. Luna was a masterpiece of nature, a 110-pound jet-black canecorso with eyes that held the depth of the ocean and a heart that ached for something she didn't yet have, a family of her own. She spent her days staring at the empty spaces in the house, her maternal instincts buzzing beneath her powerful muscles like an electric current. Her owners, seeing her silent longing, knew they had to find her a soulmate, a guardian to stand by her side. They drove to the High Hill Shelter, a place where broken souls waited for a second chance, and that's where they saw him, Titan. He was a 150-pound powerhouse of pure muscle, a massive male canecorso who had been brought in just the night before, unsterilized and radiating a primal, intimidating energy that made the air in the room feel heavy. His body was a map of survival, scarred and magnificent, his presence so enormous it felt like he was holding up the ceiling. The moment they brought him home, the universe seemed to exhale. Luna and Titan didn't just meet, they fused. They sniffed each other with a cautious, rhythmic intensity before exploding into a dance of joy that shook the very foundation of the living room. It was as if two puzzle pieces, lost for lifetimes, had finally clicked into place. Weeks passed in a blur of shared meals and watchful vigils, with Titan acting as a living fortress around his new queen. If you're watching this and haven't subscribed yet, I have to say I'm a little heartbroken. Stories like this need your support. Hit that subscribe button right now. You won't regret it. Now, back to what happened next. The atmosphere in the house began to shift into something dark and suffocating. Luna, the once unstoppable force of nature, suddenly collapsed into a cycle of violent sickness. She began to vomit, her massive frame trembling with a weakness that terrified her family. Her eyes, once bright with life, became hollow pools of exhaustion. Every time she looked at her owners, it was a plea for help that pierced straight through their chests. They rushed her to the clinic, their hearts hammering against their ribs like trapped birds, fearing that their dream of a happy family was about to become a devastating tragedy. The air in the veterinary clinic was cold, smelling of antiseptic and impending doom as the doctor examined Luna with a face that looked like it was carved from stone. He didn't speak, he only frowned, his fingers pressing into her abdomen while Titan stood in the corner, a 150-pound shadow of pure anxiety, his low whimpers vibrating through the floorboards. Finally, the vet turned around, his expression hard, eyes cold as ice. He looked the family dead in the eye and delivered a blow that felt like a physical strike to the gut. He told them Luna was infested, riddled with a swarm of parasites so aggressive that they were draining the very life from her veins. The room fell silent. Not a regular silence, but the kind that sucks the oxygen out of your lungs and leaves your head spinning in a void of despair. The family begged for a cure, their voices cracking with the weight of 1,000 heartbreaks, but the vet simply shook his head, saying there was no treatment and that everyone in the house was now in grave danger. He began to walk away, leaving them in the ruins of their own hope, but then something happened that changed everything. The vet stopped, his shoulders shaking, and suddenly he whirled around and let out a loud, booming laugh that echoed off the sterile walls. The family froze, paralyzed by confusion and anger as the vet wiped a tear of laughter from his eye. He apologized, admitting he had always wanted to pull that dramatic prank, and then he revealed the truth that made their hearts explode with joy. Luna wasn't sick. She was pregnant. The parasites were actually the tiny, pulsing heartbeats of a new generation. The transformation in the room was electric. The fear evaporated, replaced by a wave of euphoria so strong it felt like they could fly. They returned home not with a death sentence, but with a miracle. And as the news spread through the neighborhood like wildfire, the community gathered around them. Everyone wanted a piece of this legacy, a pup from the royal lineage of Luna and Titan, and the family made a pact. They would only give the babies to those who lived nearby, ensuring that this incredible family would stay together in the heart of their neighborhood forever. The night of the birth was a symphony of primal instinct and raw emotion, as Luna brought her tiny miracles into the world while Titan stood guard like a silent sentinel at the nursery door. As the weeks passed, the house was filled with the chaotic, beautiful energy of growing pups. But as the day of adoption approached, a heavy cloud of sorrow settled over the family. Even though they had promised, the thought of letting go of these souls felt like tearing out their own hearts. They eventually handed the puppies over to the neighbors, watching through tear-filled eyes as their family was scattered across the street. But the universe has a way of correcting injustice. A few months later, the family discovered a horrifying truth. 2 of the puppies were being kept in shadows, neglected and ignored by those who had promised to cherish them. Without a second thought, the family moved like lightning, reclaiming the stolen souls and bringing them back to the only place they ever belonged. The reunion was a sight that would make the hardest heart crumble. Luna and Titan didn't just welcome them, they enveloped them in a wall of protective love that will never be breached again. Today, the house is no longer quiet. It is a fortress of joy, where Luna, Titan, and their 2 rescued children live in a bond that is absolutely unbreakable, proving that family isn't just about blood, it's about who refuses to let you go. If this story touched your heart and you're still not subscribed, please don't wait any longer. Hit that subscribe button. What would you do if you found out your neighbor was mistreating a pup? Tell me in the comments below. If this story moved you, please hit that like button. It helps more people find these incredible stories.